Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Mi, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Garp is one of the most loyal Marines to his organization, and for many decades he's fought for the ideals of the Marines and have faced many powerful pirates, including the former Pirate King, Gol D. Roger. And it's through these confrontations that he became recognized worldwide, not only as a powerful Marine, but the hero of the Marines itself. After the events of the Marineford arc, Garp's ideals and allegiance to the world government and Marines has really kind of started to diminish, and he no longer seems to have the same conviction he once had. And he also no longer trusts that the Marines will actually be able to take out and bring justice to the world by defeating all evil. But there is someone that Garp does believe that can make his wish for change come true: his grandson, Monkey D. Luffy, the boy who can conquer the One Piece treasure and surpass even Gol D. Roger. So in today's video, we're going to talk about Garp's relationship with Luffy, what Garp will do for Luffy in the future, what decisions Garp will make within the Marines to make this world of peace really happen, and finally, what consequences his actions may lead to. But before we dive into that, if you're new to the channel, or even if you've been around for a bunch of videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like, or even subscribe, and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out truly and motivates us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing your favorite video with a friend. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, as a Marine, Garp has the goal of capturing pirates and people who go against the world government and the Marines. In this way, Garp is the enemy of all pirates, at least in theory, because we have seen that there have been pirates where Garp had several opportunities to stop, but just didn't. And this isn't because Garp isn't strong enough, but rather because he doesn't want anything bad to happen to this pirate. Now, Garp loves his grandson Luffy, and even though Luffy has become a pirate, Garp has never wanted to see anything bad happen to him. Garp always cares for Luffy's life, and this was shown several times during One Piece, especially in Marineford, where Garp had several chances to capture Luffy during battle. However, in the end, he allowed himself to be defeated by Luffy because deep down, he would like Luffy to be able to save Ace, and he wanted to see the two of them get out of Marineford alive. But because of his occupation as a Marine, he couldn't allow Luffy to rescue Ace that easily. In Garp and Luffy's flashbacks, we see that Garp has never wanted to see Luffy to become a pirate, and he didn't even like it when Ace became one because he wanted to see both of his grandsons grow up to be Marines just like him, trying all the time to make Luffy change his mind and want to become a Marine so that together they could change the world. But Garp never managed to change Luffy's dream of becoming king of the pirates. Garp even blames Shanks for being responsible for encouraging Luffy to become a pirate, and it's for this reason there's a certain rivalry between Garp and Shanks, as Garp might still hold a grudge against him for poisoning his grandson's mind with these dreams of becoming a pirate. But Luffy, for his part, claims otherwise and tells Garp that even as a child he wanted to be a pirate, and his greatest dream was to become king of the pirates so that he can be recognized all over the world. In our current story though, Garp really no longer has the same ideologies as he's had before and has really lost his level of devotion to the Marine organization. I mean, he doesn't even feel that he's doing any good within the Marines because the Gorosei's orders are always strange and even inhumane at sometimes. If you think about it, I mean, think about the attack of the Buster Call on Ohara. Garp also knows the truth that only the world nobles really have a voice in this world, and it's for this reason that Garp abhors these people. And Garp has even been offered the post of Admiral several times, but each time he's refused because Garp refuses to be a pawn for the Gorosei, and he would never agree to obey the orders of those people because he knows where their order is coming from, and he still holds firm to this same commitment to this day. Garp was even able to show the reality of the Gorosei to his friend Sengoku, making him retire from his position as Fleet Admiral, and both of them saw how corrupt the world government was. And it's for these reasons that they lost their hopes of changing the world because they saw what was really behind the shiny exterior. But during the Wano arc, a new hope has been born, and the resurgence of the one once considered savior deity, the sun god Nika, also known as Joyboy, has returned through Monkey D. Luffy. Of course, during his battle with Kaido, Luffy managed to awaken his devil fruit and obtained the divine power that for a long time has been hidden. And this news is spread to the whole world because even the posters, the new bounty posters of Luffy, show his transformation into Gear 5th, which means that Garp is going to know about Luffy's fruit awakening, something the Gorosei have wanted to hide. But the news again is all going to be throughout the world, and the Gorosei never had a way to get a hold of it in the first place. And many people may not understand yet why Luffy had that transformation. But for those individuals and cultures that know the stories of the sun god Nika, know very well who the new bearer of this radiant power is. And it could be even Garp, who has said before that a Marine who has great fame and knowledge about the actions of the world government and the Marines itself himself, and really only ever took, information or orders from his former fleet admiral and friend. So Garp sits at a very important and informed place. So with Luffy's awakening and with him becoming the new Yonko, this has really made Luffy one of the most wanted pirates in the world, being one of the Marines' main targets now, and this means that Garp may be charged with having to capture him. But this is not gonna ally with any of Garp's wishes. After seeing Ace lose his life, he doesn't want to see the same fate fall onto Luffy. No matter what rules he has to break, Garp would never let the Marines take Luffy's life. There's even a possibility of Garp betraying the Marines to help Luffy in a future confrontation of the Straw Hats against the Marines, because Garp really no longer has his confidence in any of the actions the Marines take, and he also doesn't agree with the new direction that the organization overall is taking. So even though Garp may have been discouraged from being a Marine, he persisted for as long as he could because he wanted to see the Marines change the world. But he now finds himself powerless to do so. So again, his trust is going into Luffy, because you see, Garp intended to change the world government from the inside out so that he could make the world nobles lose their godlike position, because after all, the Celestial Dragons are seen as divine beings, and because of that, they're extremely arrogant and boorish and think they can do whatever they want, including enslaving and buying people, which is just something that is just too ugly to describe. And with Garp's sense of justice, he just couldn't see how these people could be allowed to do this because it wasn't just. But as we've seen, even with his, reluctance to follow everything the Marines is about, Garp is still a very respected Marine and is still dedicated to the work that he does, even if he doesn't agree in full faith with the world government's actions. But I think it could be here where we're gonna see Garp slowly starting to slide into Luffy's camp, and maybe even a little more just out in the open. And this could be especially a big thing now, because now that Luffy has managed to awaken the power of the Sun God, a power in which can and does have the ability to change the world completely, freeing all those that had their freedom taken away and really bringing the new dawn. This is something that Garp is going to see how it will affect and change the world government and the Marines' focus to Luffy. And you have to understand, even though Garp may be a Marine, he kind of tends to look proud when Luffy does something that shakes the world government, and even more so when he sees his bounty get increased, because it shows that Luffy is becoming stronger, and he knows that as Luffy gets stronger, that he definitely can complete this goal of bringing a dawn and a new age to the world. And this doesn't mean that Garp's a pushover. I mean, he's strict. We've seen him, with his fists of love punching Luffy in the head. But again, Garp also loves to see the messes that Luffy causes in the world. I mean, during Luffy's infiltration of Impel Down and the mass breakout that he created in an attempt to rescue Ace, Garp was really impressed with Luffy's boldness, something that really the family has in abundance, because of course, as we know, Dragon is Luffy's dad and Garp's potential child. They have a great reputation for creating change and chaos in the world. Garp was even impressed when Luffy first met the three admirals during Marineford, and was even more impressed at the fact that Luffy was able to look face to face with the three greatest Marines in the world without showing any fear on his face. And when it came down to it, Garp took the hit from Luffy to knock him off the catway so that Luffy could, of course, during the whole Marineford debacle, save Ace. And this is somebody who didn't allow any other pirates to get close to Ace. And it's because, as we saw both in the manga and the anime, as Luffy was coming up on Garp, Garp started to have flashbacks of his past with Ace and Luffy, and showing his love for these two boys, just making him not want to oppose Luffy. So he stated that Luffy hit him directly so that he'd knock off the platform, and so that people would see that he wasn't just aiding and abetting, but in fact got hit off the catwalk. So as we move into our final saga and our initial last arcs of One Piece, we may discover if Garp has complete knowledge about what Luffy's power represents. But again, he may just have some of the basics and then can put the rest of the pieces together. So if Garp knows anything about Joy Boy, he'll also know about the things that Joy Boy was not able to do. And not only was it to bring the fishmen to the surface, but of course the major thing that Joy Joy Boy was out to do was to manage to overthrow the world government definitively, allowing the world nobles to cease to exist and bring freedom to the world. But it's still just a little too early for that to happen. So as our story continues, we know that a great battle is brewing in the distance of the world of One Piece. And we have many different powerful pirates and marines that are going to be aligning themselves on separate sides, preparing for the great battle to come. So Luffy and Garp will be in it fighting for their ideals, which means that during a big showdown, Garp may join Luffy, actually betraying the Marines and wanting to fight on Luffy's side because he knows that his grandson really is going in the place. And ultimately, because Garp wasn't able to stop Ace's demise, perhaps in the biggest show of love that he ever could for his grandson, perhaps he will make the ultimate sacrifice and give his life in protection for Luffy. With all that said, my friends, we'd love to know what you think about it. What do you think? Do you think Garp will eventually come over to Luffy's side, whether becoming a Straw Hat or not? Do you think he may end up allied that way? And also, do you think that he knows about Joy Boy or has that deep knowledge of what the world government has been trying to cover up? And finally, do you think Garp has had another role in the Marines? There's been some speculation around the community for quite a while that Garp may in fact actually be a member of the Revolutionary Army, and one of the key reasons why Dragon always seems to know what's happening. So with that out there, what do you think about that? Let us know in the comments below. But as we bring this video to a close, my friends, I want to thank you so much for watching the video all the way up to the very end. Be sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like or hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. Really hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.